Hey guys, Chad Hoover, Kayak Bassin TV. So tonight we're going to talk about sponsorships and specifically fishing sponsorships and kind of this is part one of a two-part series. We actually did the initial video just kind of introducing the topic, and I apologize for the poor lighting in here. I'm going to get that fixed tomorrow. But I wanted to get this video out there because I keep getting a lot of questions from folks and want to go ahead and cover the topic. And so sponsorships, it's something that is kind of at the tips of the tongues of a lot of anglers, but I think it's a term that's misused. There's three kind of interactions you have with companies. There's pro deals, there's pro staff, and then there is sponsorships. And so a pro deal just means you get the product at a discount because you're a professional, you're a guide, you're a personality, you have some thing that gives them a return on investment, so they offer you the product at the same price they sell it to dealers for. So they're not really going out of their way to take care of you. Pro staff positions have gotten watered down over the years, but in general they mean you get some product free, some compensation, whether that's travel expenses paid to go to trade shows, but there's a relationship with the company outside of just getting product at a discount. Again, lots of companies have kind of morphed this thing to where pro staff and pro deal are pretty much a blurred line. And then there's sponsorships. And so I see that term probably misused more than any other term out there. There are gear sponsorships, but if they're giving you some significant gear, or if they're giving you the gear to use, then that's considered a sponsorship. By and large, if you are paying for the product at a discount, you're on a pro deal or you're on the pro staff, and you're not truly sponsored. Sponsored means not only are you getting the gear for free, but that company is also paying you some form of compensation, whether that's for appearances, whether that's for a sponsorship of a program or product that you offer, whether that's a guide service, a seminar speaking circuit, a YouTube channel, a social media following these days is another platform by which sponsorships happen. So, keep in mind that there's the pro deal, just means you get the product at a discount. The pro staff generally means there's a mix of pro deal, some free gear and some compensation. And then true sponsorships means you're actually getting paid. You're getting either a W-9 or a 1099 from that company that shows that they've given you compensation. It's something you claim on the taxes, and it is something that you use to make a living. It's compensation. And so I think what the vast majority of folks are looking for up front is a pro deal. They're looking for some discount on the gear because, let's be honest, a dollar saved is a dollar made. So if you're not spending it, you're saving it, and if you're saving it, you're making it. So it's kind of, it's a great opportunity, especially when you're first starting out. As you get a little further down the road and you become a pro staff member and you start getting gear both given to you and, paid for you to use it, the pro deal is not as appealing anymore because your gear is pretty much provided for you by the companies that you represent. And then you get into true sponsorships. And so before we get into the specifics of kind of how to get there, I get this question a lot. Hey man, I see that you write, you do photography, you've got the TV show, you do your YouTube channel, you've got a pretty strong social media presence. You also do trade show appearances, you do seminars, and you're very active in the community. What do you think I should do if I want to get to where you're at? And to be honest with you, the answer to that question is in the question itself. It's all of those things. And so if you want to get to that level, that's kind of what you're doing. You need to be able to do a little bit of it. In my business and what I've done as a pro staff director, not just someone that's been on the pro staff, is I consider that there's three types of pros. There's what I call the ambassador, that pro that's just going to speak highly of you every time they get an opportunity. And I call those guys ramp pros. The boat ramp engager. They're going to talk to the guy that asked them about the gear that they're using. They're going to engage the folks on the water. The ramp pro, that water pro, that ambassador, is really going to be a strong word-of-mouth advocate for the company and your first line for getting a product out there or reinforcing the product or brand message. And so, that's where I think everyone realistically should start, is being that brand ambassador. I also think that you should be using the product, and that product should be something you bought or you would buy before you become a branded ambassador, instead of just shopping around for somebody that'll give you a deal and then deciding to promote those products. The products that I use, I promote them because I use them. I don't use them because I promote them, if that makes sense. And I think that's a good guiding principle to help you. It may take a little longer to get there if you like the good stuff and you want to be, sponsored or on pro staff with the better companies out there. Then you really have to, strongly, pursue those companies and represent them, and don't just settle, for whatever deal that you can get. After that, there is the tournament pro, the outdoor rider pro, the media pro. That media pro is the guy that is getting exposure outside of just what he or she does, meaning she's getting coverage by websites, she's getting coverage by bloggers, writing articles for magazines, and getting that exposure at that next level. They have their own YouTube channel, strong following in social media. And so really those are the two kinds of tiers. There's the active pro, and then there's the word of mouth branded ambassador. And then there's a third tier. And the third tier is kind of what I like to refer to as a unicorn. And that is somebody that is the ramp pro, the ambassador. Then they also have the media component. They take all of that and they do it very well together. And then that makes them a whole separate category, because for the most part, you've got guys that are in one category and you've got guys in the other category, but they don't generally do both. And so I think there's a complete third category, and that third category is for the athlete, the pro, the fisherman, whatever you want to call it, that has the ability to kind of cross over those different lines of platforms, whether it's writing, photography, editing, video appearances, both in their channel, on other people's channel, getting involved in television production, guest appearing on local and regional lifestyle television shows, things like that. Heavy appearances on trade show circuits, doing seminars. For me, the seminar was the strongest platform for getting started. That's kind of old school at this point. You can have a huge platform through social media, a strong Facebook, Instagram, Twitter following, where you can get the message out, can pretty much supplant what I had to do and what a lot of guys my age had to do coming up through the ranks, which is spending a lot of time, standing in trade show booths and doing seminars and going around to clubs and speaking and doing live seminars at tournaments and things like that. And so for me, I still think that that's a strong platform and presence to develop your voice. But with the advent and kind of the onset of really strong social media platforms, I think that you can develop that voice, you can develop that message without doing that. So let me sum up this part one, so this video is not 30 minutes long, and say this. Use the products that you believe in. Use the products that you buy or would buy if you had to buy them, if you've achieved that level of exposure where a company will provide you with products. Don't sell out. Don't use products that you wouldn't use if the deal was gone tomorrow. More importantly, understand where you're at in the process. Don't try to go from zero to hero right out of the gate. Cultivate a relationship with the company. Provide feedback on the products that they have. If you ever bash a company that you're affiliated with for the product's inferiority or something that needs to be changed, never do that without a solution. In other words, when you're talking about what's wrong, talk about how to make it right in the same sentence. Don't just say, oh, that's broke, that don't work, it ain't worth the crap, whatever. Say, hey, I think we could improve this product by, and that'll really go a long ways with developing that relationship. Be willing to show up and pay your dues at trade shows. Be willing to go to sales events at the company. Be willing to go to pro days. Be willing to go to tournaments and represent the company in the capacity of an ambassador. And doing all of those things. Don't overdo your sponsorship packaging. And what I mean by that is, don't be a hashtagasaurus where you put all your sponsors on every post you make. Don't put every company that you're affiliated with on every post that you make. Give them each their special consideration for what they do for you. It'll mean more to them. It'll mean more to you, and you won't overdo it with your followers and the folks that you're trying to influence who believe in what you're doing. Because I think if you force too much down people's throats, with your fans, your friends, your family, your subscribers, whatever you want to call it, you're going to do a better job if you really just provide genuine endorsements, not just look for an opportunity to dump a plug on your social media platform, but do it when it occurs naturally in your fishing trip, when it occurs in your preparation, when a question's asked, offer it up. And then I'm going to close this video out by saying, the other thing that I say I think you can go wrong with these days, especially with social media, is being a hijacker, threadjacker, or jumping in where somebody's asked a question and they've specifically asked about a couple of brands. Don't come in there and be that guy that jumps in and throws your brand in there and throw the cape back and say, dun, da, 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 I'm going to save the day for my particular brand. Respect the fact that that person's done a basic level of research and they've narrowed it down on their own, and let them do that. If you have something great to offer it. But don't come in and say, I know you've narrowed it down to this too, but you really should consider this brand that I'm promoted by so I can screenshot this and send it to the company. It's abrasive. Doesn't come across well with the person. It doesn't come across well with the audience that's in that discussion. And I think more often than not, you do more damage to yourself, your personality, and the brand that you're trying to represent than you do by what you were trying to accomplish by jumping in and throwing their name in the mix. So again, this is the base level understanding of what fishing sponsorships are. For me, it's kayak fishing, but a lot of the companies I deal with are purely fishing, and kayak's just part of it. So understand what you want to accomplish, how much time you want to put into it, how much energy and effort that you want to put into it, and where to go from there. So in the second part of this video, I'm going to break it down and tell you how much time you're looking at each level. I'm going to tell you how much time you're looking at once you achieve a certain level, and then once you become sponsored, truly sponsored, what type of commitment that really is. And in other words, if you get a sponsorship from one company, that can offset some of your expenses. That can help you out in your endeavor. If you get sponsored by two companies, it becomes cumbersome. Once you're sponsored by and truly engaged with 3 or more companies, it is a full-time job. And if you don't have either the capacity and the willingness to work an additional 40-plus hour job a week, or you don't have the ability to forego your existing career to pursue that opportunity, then I say that you stick with the pro staff position at the maximum, or stick with a pro deal. Just wave the flag for the companies that you love and go fishing and have fun. But if you're seriously looking and considering pursuing it, realize it is a full-time job. There is work involved. There's time commitments, time constraints, sacrifices that you'll have to make. In the spring, when all the fishing shows are going on, you're going to want to be out there chasing bass like everybody else, but you're going to be standing in a booth talking to the guys that are doing it that morning, and while you were setting up a trade show, and are going to be heading out that afternoon to use the gear that they picked up at the show that you're going to still be standing at that day, the next day, and probably the next day after that. So decide where you want to go, how much time you want to put into it, and I'm really going to elaborate on that in part 2 of this series. And if necessary, based on the comments and the feedback, then I'll sum it all up in a part 3. So again, this is part 2 of the fishing sponsorships video, and we're going to be putting part 3 together right after this, as soon as I give it some time to see the comments develop. So do me a favor, comment below. Let me know if you liked what you heard here. If there's any more specific questions that I didn't answer, I'll make sure to cover them in the next video. And as always, give this a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe to Kayak Bass and TV so we can keep bringing you great content. And I have to say thanks for all the just amazing support that I've gotten over the last month and a half, 2 months, since I started changing the video mix up a bit, and hope to keep them coming. So just do me a favor and subscribe and comment, give us a thumbs up, and we'll be right back with some more comments. Some more content here at Kayak Bass and TV.